Hey everybody, Crystal Clear 101 here with another Transformers toy review, and today I'll be reviewing the Age of Extinction Voyager class Galvatron. This is probably the main Decepticon I'm really looking forward to other than Lockdown, but this is the front of Galvatron's packaging. He's not the same side that most of them have, although for some reason he's got an Autobot emblem instead of a Decepticon. Here is his reverse side. Now, aside from Galvatron here, I really want to get my hands on Hound, because he looks like he's going to be pretty sweet. And here is the other side. There's the overall artwork for Galvatron. Alright, with that being shown, let me go ahead and break him loose from his plastic prison, and let's see how good Galvatron is. Be back in just a moment. Now here's Galvatron out of his box. Well, I might surprise some of you, but after fooling with this one, I think it's safe to say this for me is one of my personal favorites from the Age of Extinction line that I've fooled with so far. And why is that? A few things. Number one, I do like the fact he does have a simplistic transformation. I mean, compared to other movie figures I have fooled with, other Transformer movie figures, his transformation's actually fairly easy. It's one of those where it's easy, but it's not too easy, as you'll see in a couple minutes. But his transformation is simple, so I really like that about him. Number two, he's got good articulation. I mean, he's got decent articulation. You can have him in various different poses. Number three, to go along with the fursuit, this one has something that, to me, the others personally just don't have, especially for someone like me, which is, he is just one of those that's actually fun to pose and play with. Yes, I said play. But he's one of those where you actually want to keep going back between his robot mode and his alt mode. So, he's got that going for him. And in addition to that, some of you may not be able to see it. If you're more familiar with like the original Galvatron from Generation 1, like I am, even though this looks nothing like you would expect a Galvatron to, I can see like certain little details, specifically in the head, that do make me think Galvatron. For instance, the way the blue is highlighted, it does make me think of the centerpiece of his crest. The fact he has these little cheek pieces right in through here, which kind of outline his face on the original Galvatron. So I can see that. On top of that, his robot mode does actually look pretty sweet. You may not think it, just from seeing him initially, especially in the bots, but once you actually get him out and full with him, he's actually a lot of fun. He's one of those that you just want to, keep fooling with. Now, do I have any cons about this figure? I do, actually. I do have a couple of cons. Number one, I just don't care for the color scheme of this one. To me, his color scheme just looks, blah. It just looks bland. But then again, this is the Hasbro. I'm pretty sure a Takara release would have a much better paint scheme overall. But to me, his paint scheme, at least in robot mode, is just bland. It's nothing special. Number two, it's not necessarily the weapon. The weapon itself, I think, looks pretty nice. It looks like a series of coils wrapping around the center of a wheel. That's his I guess it's supposed to be his fusion cannon, but you can have it mounted in his hand, like so I'll show in just a minute, but you can have it mounted either like so, and it does have additional little peg right there so he can hold it like a gun, but I just wish they could have gave him the option to mount it on his wrist, almost like his classic fusion cannon. That to me is Galvatron, is him with a fusion cannon. But as far as how he looks with the weapon mounted, Let's take a look at it with him holding it as an actual gun, an actual rifle. That looks okay. I particularly don't care for that. But let's see it the other way. Now that, to me, looks good. It actually looks like it's part of his arm. Especially considering that, you know, in most of the especially the Michael Bay Transformers movies, they do form their weapons either out of their arms or various parts of their body. So the fact that it looks like, you know, he's forming it out of his arm, that actually looks pretty sweet to me. But, so far, this is probably my single favorite of the ones from the Age of Extinction line, that I'm fooling with. Now, before I do forget, this figure actually does have weapon storage for him in his robot mode other than his hands. And that is on his back. And even though this is just the roof of his cab for his vehicle mode, point is he does have weapon storage unlike the evasion mode Optimus Prime. And from what I understand, and even though I said there was no weapon storage for the Voyager class Grimlock in his robot mode, from what I understand from a fellow YouTuber, subscriber, and friend of mine, Mike Mouse 74, since I mentioned his name, I will provide a link to his channel in the description box below. Apparently, there is weapon storage for Age of Extinction Grimlock in his robot mode on his back. If I have time, I will try and squeeze that into this video, if I can. But with that being said, let's go ahead and get straight to Galvatron's transformation, and I might surprise some of you just how simplistic his transformation really is. Here is Galvatron in his semi-truck mode. Now, as you saw, his transformation was very simplistic. I like that. That's one of the main things I really do like about this figure, is that his transformation is very simple, and his alt mode, he does look really good. Now, if I had any complaints about Galvatron's alt mode, I really only have, like, a couple of complaints. Number one, I just wish his colors would have been darker. Because to me, his colors just seem like they're a little too light, specifically more of the darker gray. I just wish that would have been a flat-out dark gray. On top of that, there's not a whole lot covering, this portion of his vehicle right here. And if you look on the bottom, there's nothing hiding his, chest piece right up here. The only other complaint I have is you can mount his weapon on his vehicle mode. However, you can only put it on the roof of the cab. And to me, that just looks kind of weird. Now, from the looks of it looks like you'd be able to, put it right in here. And to me, I think that would have looked cool if you'd be able to, be able to store it like that. I guess you can, pseudo store it like that. Or if you could have been able to store it like up in here. But I think storage like that would have been cool. I wish they would have, possibly took that into consideration. But, just the fact you're able to still store his weapon in his vehicle mode, give him a mounted weapon, is still nice. But all in all, this is one of the main things I really do like about the Age of Extinction Galvatron is not only does he look decent in his robot mode, I will admit, but his transformation is very simplistic, but it's not too simplistic. And on top of that, his vehicle mode does look good. It does look really good. Because this is probably one of my top favorites from the Age of Extinction line so far. Weapons and accessories for Age of Extinction Galvatron include his fusion cannon, which can be held in his hand like a rifle, as shown, or can be displayed as if it's part of his arm, and features a firing missile, an articulation for Age of Extinction Galvatron consists of a ball-jointed head, swivel hinge shoulders, swivel biceps, double hinge elbows, swivel hinge hips, swivel thighs, hinge knees, and swivel feet. But overall, what is my personal verdict on the Age of Extinction Galvatron? Overall, I am really satisfied with this figure. I'm actually very pleased overall. I mean, aside from, the lack of paint details, well, let me rephrase it. Aside from his overall paint scheme, but then again, this is the Hasbro version. I'm going to wait for the Takara version to come out. But aside from that, and aside from a minor complaint about how you mount his fusion cannon, I have really no complaints about Galvatron. This, to me, is probably going to be one of the best figures in this line. So, if you're a fan of the character Galvatron, or if you're a fan of the Age of Extinction movie or the toy line, I'll be honest with you. Regardless, I would actually recommend you pick up one of these guys. He's actually a lot of fun to fool with, and I'm surprised I'm actually liking him as much as I do. I have nothing but good things to say about him, really, so I give him 2 thumbs up, honestly. If you can find him, grab him. He's actually a great Transformer. But that'll wrap up my review on the Voyager class Age of Extinction Galvatron. Be sure to rate, comment, and subscribe. And before I do forget, as I stated earlier in the video, if I could, I was going to make a segment on this, but Mike Mouse 74 pointed out to me that there is weapon storage for Grimlock in his robot mode. And upon him telling me where, I'm actually kind of surprised I didn't spot it, but I figured I'd go ahead and point it out here. But this screw hole right here for his, right behind his lower jaw, that screw hole right there is actually just big enough for the handle right here to go in. And let me go ahead and just demonstrate that. There we go. And the best part is, that is in there nice and tight. There is absolutely no wiggle in it. As you see, I got him upside down. I'm shaking it. It's not even remotely wobbling. So that has makeshift storage for him in robot mode other than his hands. Now, because Mike Mouse 74 pointed that out to me, number one, Mike Mouse 74, thank you for pointing that out to me. Number two, I will be providing a link to his main channel in the description box below. He mainly does Transformer reviews. He's also got a channel devoted to Disney toy reviews. And he's also got another channel devoted to fast food toy reviews. But if you are a fan of Transformers, do give him a look. I'm pretty sure you'll like him. But be sure to check out his channel. Be sure to subscribe to him. And as far as everyone else is concerned, y'all have a good day.